Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy, and we have got a great show lined up for you tonight. Two hot cookers that are doing really well in the IBCA competition circuit. One of them's in the 7th overall in the IBCA points chase. That's Mr. Corbin Stone. We also got Mr. Dustin Standley with the barbecue store. Looking forward to a great night. Been trying to get these guys on, and I've just been so busy. Had some other obligations in front of them, but now that we are getting a break, I called them up yesterday, and I was like, hey, how about let's get you on the show? Y'all been doing great. Want to talk a little bit about the father-son duo of y'all cooking. And at the same time, he just got through launching a new website. He's got a lot of stuff going on with Joey at the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. I think they've got several cook-offs they've already put together. So I want to know a little bit more about that. And obviously, we have a lot of fun with the question and answer. So if you have anything there, certainly reach out and let us know that as well. As you pop on, let us know. Merv, thank you for being here. Mr. Jim, appreciate you being here, buddy. And, I hope we're going to have a good show tonight. I think we will. Hopefully we got some good attendance tonight. Here's one that we always know that is here, and I'm sure here any moment we're going to have one that's called Caitlin Crane that'll be on here. They're always here. Brandon, thank you for being here. I hope to see you. Yep, and just as we speak, there she is. So, I hope we're going to get a chance to see you. I hope this time, Caitlin, you don't have the boot on. So maybe things will be a little bit easier for you for getting around. Monty, thank you for being here tonight. And look at there, who we got. My good buddy, Mr. Alan Freeman, Chicken Bacow. So he said he hurt himself. He's got some really messed up ribs. He said chiropractor pushed, some stuff popped. I'm going to find out a little bit more about it. He said he's still sore. I think it was really he was scared to go up against Vivian. Vivian was going to cook this weekend. I've been giving him a hard time. I said, I think you just threw it. There's no way you wanted to cook against Vivian because if she beat you, then, you knew I was going to continue to razz you. So anyway, but he says he's hurt. I hate that for him. He can't hardly breathe. He don't have a broke rib, but he was getting some adjustment at a chiropractor, and they heard a cartilage pop in his ribs, what he told me, and he's been in a lot of pain. So I hope he is doing well. I think he would have probably done got off of it by now, so I don't think he's faking it. So I hope he gets well for Irving. I don't want him having any excuses. So let's see who else we got. Got Greg here tonight. Thank you, Greg, for being here. Kent, thank you for showing up. Yeah, I am so funny. That's right. Ha, 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 ha. And I got complete control, and you can't say nothing. So Mr. Terry Rome, Mr. World Champ, is with us tonight. Vivian. Bill Purvis is here. Vivian was going to bring the heat. See there? Bill knows exactly. And that lady right there was fixing to get ready to throw it down in the parking lot. And I think fixing to give him a shellacking like he hadn't ever had. And I don't know. I mean, I want to see. Yeah, I'm with you, Vivian. He was scared. And I really think that he threw that because he did not want to have to cook against you. So, oh, goodness, Caitlin, let's see what you're saying here. Where are you at? I just lost it. Okay. I'll have two good legs to stand on this time. Last time she was at the World Championship over there in Fort Worth at the SCA, and she had a boot. I guess she had some leg surgery or twisted up an ankle or something, but she was hobbling around, but she was still getting around good, and now she's got two good legs, so that's good. Let's see. Hey, everyone, bring on the weather this weekend. Yep, I saw the weather forecast. I pulled up the Dallas local news, and looks like we got some wintry mix coming in Wednesday into Thursday. Going to be freaking cold as all get out. I don't care. I'm inside my trailer. If I have to, I'll pull the door somewhat closed. If I got my big Roto Junior cooker in there, it will be nice and warm. So bring it. I could care less. But it is going to be fun, and I am looking so forward to going over to Irving this weekend. I know Alan's going to be there. I know Steve's going to be there. And Vivian, my wife, there's no telling. Half of Dallas will be bought out by the time they go shopping. So anyway, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope if everybody's get a chance to come over to that cook-off in Irving, it's always a great cook-off. So, yeah, Bill, I think you're probably right. That's why you didn't go either. Yeah, it's just, Vivian, she's tough, man. I mean, she don't cook very often, but gosh, dog it, man. When she rolls out a grill and cooks, it's like freaking game on. So I'm glad she's not cooking Irving this weekend. And Alan, you better be well enough to cook Irving. Don't make me have to cook against Vivian. So, Alan Freeman, that was a veteran move, my man. Well played. Yeah, I think so. He was talking a lot of smack on Facebook, and then after that, he just kind of, fizzled out, and then all of a sudden he hurt. So, Anyway, if you're coming on, let us know. We got 25 folks on here as of right now, and giving folks just a few minutes to come on. And I always like to give everybody a little bit of time before we just jump right in it. If y'all are going to be cooking this weekend, shoot us a comment. Let us know where you're going to be cooking, whether it's SCA or if it is a barbecue competition. So be curious to see where everybody's cooking. Juke, I'm assuming you're going to be over in Irving this weekend, and should be a lot of fun. I don't know whether any other cook-offs going on right now. I didn't pull up the schedule. We got Doug all the way. Dang, look at this, man, from Syracuse, New York. Doug, appreciate you being here tonight, man. So, oh, goodness. Yeah, Alan says this is the Dustin and Corbin show. Leave me out. Yeah, we will till we bring them in. Right now, we're just giving everybody a chance to razz on you and everything else and give everybody a chance to pop in and say hi. We don't want to start the show too early where everybody misses out on what these guys got to say. So I'll be smoking some bacon in my driveway. I imagine the weather's probably pretty chilly up there in New York right about now. Anyway, well, got 25 folks on here. I don't want to hold it up too long. I do want to real quick just mention our partners that we've got. Dustin is one of them, and I just want to run through these. We couldn't do our shows without these guys. A lot of help comes from these folks, and we really do appreciate it. Danny with Be Extreme Barbecue, B&B Charcoal, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop.com, Mr. Brian Crawford and his Crawford Pit Products, Mr. Wild Bill. Man, I tell you what, if you haven't tried some of his rubs, you need to do so. This guy makes them fresh. I mean, every week he's making fresh rubs to send them out, and Texas Select Seasoning has got some great stuff. Also, Gunnar Wilhelm Knives, be sure to check them out. Razor sharp knives, I'm telling you, some of the best in the business. Steakrubs.com, Mr. John Lindsay and Ronald Burns' website, check them out. The man that we're fixing to have on here, Dustin, owns the barbecue store. Be sure to check them out, thebarbecuestore.com. Raider Red Meats, if you're looking for quick shipping on meats, they can get them out to you. And Daigle's Barbecue Sauce and Glazes, I tell you what, they've also got some great rubs. Be sure to check them out. I think it's probably used in a lot of competitions. I know in Louisiana, and I'm sure over Texas as well, probably all over the country, but I know it is strong down here in the South, and that is some absolutely great rub. Check out the sweet pecan garlic sauce. It is absolutely phenomenal. Well, we got two more comments. Let's see who is here. Monty, thank you for being here. Jared, thank you for being here in Denver this week. I feel the cold. Ooh, yeah, it's going to be cold. And look at here. We got Mr. Steve, Cookout Coach, DQ'd Barbecue. He was absolutely tearing it up at the end of last year. And he's taken Corey Mike's class and has done extremely well. Thank you for being here tonight, Steve. Well, without further ado, let's bring on the man, the myth, the legends that we all want to be like, Dustin and Corbin. Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's up?
Doing good. Corbin, I see you over there getting a kick out of this. So, have you been on one of these podcasts before?
IBCA one.
IBCA. All right. Well, I tell you what, man, you have just been absolutely tearing it up. I should have put both of y'all on here. We got Corbin Stone with Smoking Donkeys Barbecue. I've been cooking now, I think you told me about a year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Hold 'em and hit 'em was a year.
Hold 'em and hit 'em was a year. Well, I tell you what, man, you have done extremely well. Check the rankings, and you're number 7th in overall in IBCA. Man, that's pretty dadgum good in your first year of cooking. And I didn't even look. Do you have all 12 cooks in, or are you still working up to that?
I think I'm at 8 right now.
That's pretty good. You got 4 more to juice up the ladder. If you get you a couple more top 3 calls, man, you're gonna get up in the top 5 before you know it. So that's really good. That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding. And then obviously we got Mr. Dustin here. We're Fired Up Barbecue. I think everybody knows him. He's been around since Moby Dick was a minnow. And anyway, sorry, Dustin. I just had to throw that one out there. You know, it is what it is. But, Dustin owns the barbecue store. So many people rely on this man to get orders out at the last minute. I know I have done that many a times. It's 4:30 and I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, I need something. And I can always call Dustin or Elena, and by 5 o'clock it's out the door and it's on UPS and I've got it the next day. So, Dustin, thank you for what you do for the barbecue guys, idiots like me that wait to the last minute and think you have everything and realize, I don't have it and I need it. So I really, really appreciate that, man. You got a great store. How many square feet you got in that bad boy now?
But we're up to 5,500 square feet.
That's a big store. That is
a
a big store. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Corbin, I want to talk to you a little bit. We got Bill Purvis says the ringers are in the house. I completely agree with you on that, Bill. Alan Freeman says, what's up, guys? Kicking butt in competition. Yes, they're doing a very, very good job. Paul, thank you for being here. Yeah, their service is second to none. Outstanding. I tell you right now, they've helped me out a many a time. So let's go back on over here. If anybody's got any questions for either Corbin or Dustin, drop them in the chat. We'll be able to see them. We'll comment, ask them the question that you've got for them. But I want to go to Corbin real quick. So Corbin, how did you get into barbecue, man? I mean, I know your dad's been cooking for a long time. Who was your inspiration growing up cooking? I mean, did you like cooking when you was a younger guy and then you got into competition? Was it your dad? Was it an aunt, an uncle? Who was it that got you kind of inspired to start barbecuing at a younger age? And what age was that?
Well, I grew up around it my whole life. So we used to carry 3 or 4 trailers at a time to go to big cook-offs. I mean, one trailer was full of trophies. That was it. Nothing but trophies. So, and then they would carry the DJ trailer and everything. So I grew up around it, and I was probably 13-ish, I would say. And we signed up. Of course, I couldn't sign up because I wasn't 18, so I signed up through under him.
Right.
And we cooked, and they turned in their meat in our tray, and we turned in their meat in their tray, and we ended up with the grand champion. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to do it. Well, then it was probably a week before Hold'em. I came to him and I said, hey, I want to cook. And he's kind of, okay. And then I told him again, probably mid that week, I said, hey, I want to cook Hold'em and hit him. And he was like, okay. So I got a vertical smoker that he had sitting on the store. And I cooked the chicken in there, cooked the ribs, cooked the brisket, cooked all of it on different shelves. And I did okay with the chicken, did okay with the ribs, and I missed brisket turn-in because it wouldn't cook fast enough.
Oh, man.
So I ground some brisket from him and my mom's tray, and what was left, and I had to turn it in, and whatever happened. So then probably a couple weeks after that, it was what was it? No, when I met Adam. It was at Humble. We were in Humble.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with Tom and Bill, and Adam was there. And I was talking to him, and he was like, hey, I give out classes. And I texted him, and I said, hey, do you know who Adam is? And he's like, name sounds familiar. So I'm like, okay. Well, then a couple weeks go by, and he calls me one day. I'm at work, and he was like, hey, do you want a barbecue? I said, yeah. He was like, okay, what would you say if I told you Adam's giving you a class? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was Texas Chrome Heroes whenever we had it at the barbecue store, and that's when I took the class.
Okay.
So it's been ever since then. I mean, it's been going good.
Killing it. Yeah, you've been doing great, man. Like I said, number 7th overall in points is pretty awesome. So you can't beat that at all, man. That is outstanding. So now, Dustin, I know you go way back cooking. How many years you been cooking?
32.
32 years. Like I said, Moby Dick was a minnow when you was just playing around. So,
16 years old.
Yeah, that's a pretty long run to be cooking, man. 32 years. What was the organizations back then? Was it just a lot of outlaw just going out cooking? I mean, I guess IBCA they've been around that long. So was you cooking a lot of IBCAs back 25, 30 years ago?
So my first cook I ever went to was Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I went with the guy that I worked for in high school. I had a part-time work, part-time school. So I went to school, and he went to the principal, and he said, hey, I want to take Dustin with me to go to the Houston. So at Houston, I'm thinking, I'm going to love it. So, of course, Houston's work, right? We all know Houston's total job. And I went up there and was basically just dishwasher, running stuff, getting this, getting that. But I loved it, and that's kind of what spurred it. So all during my high school years, I worked in a kitchen. And anytime we'd go on a catering job, barbecue catering job, I'd always go with the owner. And so I kind of picked up the love for it. And then after that, I loved it so much and just started cooking.
Uh-oh. You locked up on us. Now, he's had good internet connection the whole time. And now this. All right, give us just a second. Let me shoot him a text real quick. Tell he may know to log back on. Give us just a second, guys. This is the great thing about live. You never know when this kind of stuff can happen. So log out and log back on. Let's just see what his second. I know we got a couple questions real quick, so let me go over there and get to some of these questions. Doug, you had a question here. What's your number one rub to go to? Obviously, the first one I always go to, Doug, is a salt, pepper, garlic rub. I'll tell you one that is a really, really good one, and it's Brian Crawford's Seasonal, and you can get that at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. I know he has it. He's the one that makes it. And at the same time, I'm sure Dustin carries it as well, and he also has it at the barbecue store. So I know those two sell it. And let's see if we can get Dustin back on here real quick and give him just a second. Yeah, I say I'm going to be cooking my first brisket ever. Any advice to help me with it? It's just for home. If I'm cooking a good home brisket, a good salt, pepper, garlic rub is the first thing, obviously, that I think you need to hit a brisket with. And I see that we've got our gentleman back on. Man, you froze up, so you did good hopping off and hopping back on. I'm trying to answer a question real quick for Doug. So if you're cooking a brisket at home, I would say cook that brisket around 275. Watch your temperature. Keep it spritzed with a little bit of water every couple of hours. Give it like an hour and a half. If you start to see the bark firm up a little bit, spritz it with a little bit of water. But yeah, you can just use a good salt, pepper, garlic rub and use that. There's some other brisket rubs out there that you can use and put on it that are outstanding. Just look around. There's many of them out there. And ideally, I think the best thing to do is cook that thing for about 3 hours. If you're cooking at 275, maybe 3.5 hours. Keep it spritzed and then wrap it. The best thing to do is get you a big aluminum foil pan to put it in, one of the full-size pans. Put it in there. Put about 32 ounces of beef broth if you're using a full-size pan. Just take some Swanson's beef broth and put in it and wrap it up. And the key to it is cook it till it's probe tender. Do not try to cook necessarily to a temperature. If you got a thermopin or a meat gauge, just you want to be able to go in and out, and it should be extremely tender like you're sticking warm butter. Typically cooking at that temperature, 275, it's probably going to be done, if you're cooking a full Packard brisket, it's probably going to be done somewhere around 210 to 212 degrees, and it should start to become really, really probe tender. And when it is, just crack your foil open for just about 5 minutes to let it vent. Wrap it back up, put it in an ice chest with some towels in it. Let it rest for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then slice it. Make sure you're slicing across the grain. If you want to know a little bit about that, go to BBQChamps.com. We just put up a blog post 2 days ago that talks about slicing a brisket. It'll be down toward the bottom of our homepage. It's one of our blogs. If you want an in-depth video, we have video classes that you can buy, just a brisket class for $249. We've got a bunch of world champion pit masters that will show you exactly how they do it, which rubs, which injections, everything, if you really want to get some help and get out there. So that would be a good backyard brisket. 3.5 hours, wrap it up, cook it till it's probe tender. Typically that's going to be 210 to 212, cooking it around 260 to 275 degrees. It's going to be done. And generally when you wrap it, it's going to, at that temperature, I know on my briskets, 3 hours on, 4 hours on smoke is what I do. And typically in another 3.5 hours, I'm going to start checking it. If I'm cooking at 275, it's going to start getting pretty close. But check it about 45 minutes earlier than that. And don't overcook it. That's the main thing. But you just want it nice and probe tender, and you will have a very good brisket. Did I miss out anything there, Dustin?
No, sounded good.
All right. Steve said he's wanting to take notes. So, anyway, thanks, Simple. It's what I'm looking for. Yep, there you go. All right. So, where was we?
Yeah, we were talking about introduction to barbecue. So
Yep.
Where I was at, that was 16 years old, working in a restaurant, working in the barbecue world, and from there it just really it spurred a spark. And so, been cooking a long time. What we were asking me is Gulf Coast.
Okay. Gulf Coast, yeah.
that's when they really, IBCA was there, but Gulf Coast was super hot for a long time.
Right.
So Gulf Coast, or they would be more like charity type cook-offs. We did a lot of cook-offs that were charity.
Right.
But then, IBCA came along. We started cooking IBCA. Pretty much been on IBCA. I've cooked a couple of KCBS, cooked some CBAs. I like them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just barbecue, and so for us, it's a family tradition. We all do it.
Right. Right. Well, I tell you what, man, you've had a long career at it. I know you're good. You're doing really good this year, man. I'm telling you, you've been on a tear with that dang chicken, and ribs and brisket's been holding pretty deadgum strong too. So the big question that we're all wanting to know is, what you gonna do to catch that young man next to you?
I don't know if I can do it. The thing is, he's at that age limit where he can go 24/7. I'm at the age limit. He's half my age, so it's me.
Yeah, so you can go 7 for 20 and have to take off for 24 days, and he can just go 24/7 all the time. I understand. I'm feeling that as well. So
it helps when we're dragging them drums in and out of them trailers. For me and Mom, because it's 9 drums in and 9 drums out, and we need them young boys to help us. So my son, him, and a couple other young boys, it's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, you've had a very good year. I've got a question for you, and I know it was at Hold'em and Hit'em earlier this year. You got Grand, and Corbin, you got Reserve Grand. Is that right, or do I have other way around? Corbin got Grand. Yeah. I should have known that, Corbin. I completely apologize for that. I know that you was ready to lay the smackdown on him, but I know it had to have felt good to have a father-son go Grand and Reserve Grand. Dustin, I just as a father, and I've only got a daughter, she doesn't cook, but tell me how that made you feel.
There in life, there's a lot of things you want to accomplish. There's a lot of things that make you happy. And, him getting into the barbecue world, is definitely happy. I got a grandbaby. She's cooking youth cooks, and she loves it just as much. So, like I said, it's a family thing. My wife cooks, I cook, Corbin cooks. So with all of us cooking, we're around barbecue a lot. But when you go to a competition, and I say Hold'em, to me, Hold'em is a big ticket. There's a lot of talent at Hold'em, a lot of good cooks for a lot of years. Last year, 2 years ago at Hold'em, I pulled a 10th place chicken and thought I was a king there.
Right.
That's a big arena to win any places, right? So, we're going to Hold'em and we're cooking, and we're both having a phenomenal cook, and we get everything turned in, we get ready for awards, and we're sitting there. We got a little group we hang out with, and we all sitting there talking back and forth, and how's your cook? And I felt pretty solid with my cook. He felt solid with his, but again, you're in a big arena, so you just don't know where to land, right?
Yeah.
And so come down to calling. They're calling, and I get a decent chicken call. He gets a good rib call. I get a final table rib call. I don't get a brisket call. He gets a good brisket call. Back and forth, and then it gets down to the top 10, and I'm thinking, I'll be lucky to make the top 10. So we get into 7, 8, and they're calling really good names, and they're getting to 5, 4, and I'm like, damn, I must have just bombed brisket. I'm completely off the train because I should have been called by now.
Right.
It's down to 2, and Adam Martinez was there with us, and he goes, "There's Grand and Reserve." He just makes a comment, and I'm like, "There's just no way."
Right. Right.
So I named for Grand, and I look over at my son, and he's like, "What the?" Was he like,
right?
Hell,
Yeah.
And so at that point, he knew at that point, because he had some better calls. I mean, he knew he had done granted it, and so in Hold'em, we were in that big hall, and so everybody starts hollering, "Call it, call it." And the promoter had no clue really what was going on. So as I made it to the stage, I asked Robin Myers, I said, "Did Corbin Grand?" And she shook her head. And so I told the promoter, I said, "Call Grand." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "That's my son." And so he's like, "Oh, wow." And so when he called it, of course, the place just erupted. You would have thought, final second, buzzer shot, boom.
Oh, yeah.
But I honestly feel like I blacked out from the time he got up there. There's a couple of pictures on social media where he grabbed me and literally picked me up off the ground. And then once it was over, it was like they flooded the game, like you just won the Super Bowl. And I, like Robert Smith grabbed me like a bear hug and picked me up, and all those guys. And it was so amazing that you missed some of the little things about it. And that's where there was pictures and videos to be able to go back to that. And just to have the opportunity to be able to place good in that arena, but to be able to place with him, behind him, I told him before, I'll stand by you and cook anytime behind you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
don't done it long enough. I want to see him do well. And, to me, it's family for us. And so it really brings it home when family can come together and win it like that.
Man, I tell you what, that, and Vivian just said it, such a proud moment and a great thing to witness. That had to have felt good. I mean, as a dad and your son's right there, and just that's a big competition. There's probably 80 plus teams there, and to have that happen, I know, especially with his first year of cooking, and that was your 1 year anniversary, wasn't it, Corbin?
Yes.
Yeah, man, that had to feel incredibly awesome. Now, Corbin, how did you feel? You already didn't seen your dad go up there. He's got reserve. You was probably feeling, I think I may have this, and what was that like for you?
I was kind of sitting all by myself, really, and everybody was like, "Dude, you got it." And I looked over at Adam, and he's like, "You just granted this," and I said, "No way." So I picked up my chair. He's still walking up there. I picked up my chair, and I go sit next to him, and he stands up. I'm like, "Sit back down. What are you standing up for?" He's like, "Because just get ready. Your name's fixing to be called as a grant." I said, "There's no way." And they called it, and he just air hug, and he's like, "Congratulations." And then I go, of course, everybody else in the group.
Right.
And so then I go up there, and then we get our awards, and I just see Robert come over there and picks me up off the ground, and then Dennis Butterworth comes over there and gives me a hug, and there's a bunch of people over there. It's just one of those things, like, I would have never thought a year ago I'd be in that.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. That is an incredible story, man. I mean, it just don't get no better than that.
No.
That is for sure. So,
That's tell you, I mean, you'd love to see it again, and it may never happen again. It may happen again. You never know. But I mean, that's one that if it never happens again, I'm happy with the way that one played out perfectly.
Oh, absolutely. That's just a great story, man. That is so freaking cool. I bet that place did erupt because that's a cool deal right there. So
it was fun.
Yeah, I bet. Well, man, congratulations, Corbin, on the win, and Dustin on that RGC. I just know that was huge, and that's so awesome. Hey, if y'all have got any questions for these two men, please pop them in the comments. Let us know, and we'll get them, read them, and everything else. So, well, Dustin, let's move on a little bit from this. Let's talk about real quick. I know you launched your new website. The barbecue store, BARBQUE store.com. And I know you just got through launching that. Looks like it's a phenomenal website. I know you got a lot of stuff. You was telling me about something yesterday with all the cook-offs that I think the barbecue cooks out there are going to really be pleased with, me included, so I don't have to go through 3 or 4 different websites. Tell us what you're going to be doing with all the cook-offs from all the organizations in your website.
Yeah, so the website was generated off of public need, right? So anybody can go to any website and buy items off the website or get information off the website. My good friend Rick Dixon with Trimble Media is amazing, talented. That dude has just got the talent to do the insight and have the barbecue blood already in him. When I hired him to do our webpage, like, I already knew you got 50% investment because he's barbecue community, right? So
right.
He knows the vision I wanted. And so as we're building the site, I'm telling him how I want it to operate. I'm telling him how I want it to flow. And we already had a site. We've had a site done real well for years, but we just update. We wanted modern. And so he and I talked, and we committed to an amount and got it going. And like I said, he did an amazing job, still doing some tweaking. Long story short was I wanted a site to where people could go to and get everything they wanted. And that was the whole vision behind the barbecue store. You can buy products from individual companies all over. But we wanted to have a one-stop shop type scenario. So for us, it's a men's Hobby Lobby. And the website is generated to where when you go there, all the information you get. So one of the key things that we added was we added a page. It's a Cookoff page. So you go to that page, and we're posting. Right now, we're 3 months deep. So basically everything through April. But we're posting every Cookoff, IBCA, CBA, Lone Star, Outlaw. We're going to get the BCA on there. We'll do some KCBS on there, but basically it's by date. So if you're at home and you're like, hey, you want to go cook this weekend, you can jump on the website, go to the calendar and look at it, and it will tell you by date what the cook-offs are on that date. So you can say, well, heck, I
Oh.
can an IBCA or a CBA or a Lone
Oh, yes. So I just pulled it up. So, like, here, let's just take this. We got IBCA the 25th. We got a Lone Star the 25th. An IBCA the 25th. We got an Outlaw the 25th. We got a CBA, Smoking on the Rio. And then you go on over to the March the 4th, the next weekend. Man, I'm telling you right now, kudos to you for doing this. This is really freaking awesome. I hated to have to go in and go to one website, then go to another website, then go to another website, and then I'm trying to find out, like, where's it at, trying to get them all located. But, man, Dustin, this is great. And I think I had talked to you about BCA, and I think you said you was going to try to go through and throw some BCAs in here as well. You don't have all of it covered, even all the folks over in Louisiana, because most of those guys are cooking BCAs. But, man, this is absolutely outstanding that you've got them all in order. You've got everything right there, the brochure, the whole 9 yards. So, Dustin, I love this, man, and I really appreciate you setting something like this up. This is pretty cool, man.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, it's meant for information, right? So the way I look at it, and I have no beef with anybody in the barbecue world. The way I look at it is there's enough for everybody. So I wanted something that our customers felt comfortable with, that they could go to, they could shop, they could view. We have a champions page that we have on there that we highlight champions. A lot of it's just buddies, and we'll add them. We'll continue to add.
Right.
When we launched the website on Wednesday, we weren't ready for it to explode, to be honest with you. We were wanting to do a soft launch, making sure the shipping worked, making sure everything got in the carts the right way, you know, because the last thing you want to do is be running into problems and it just be blowing up. And my good buddy, Jamie Roby, had jumped on just to order something, and he made a post. And when he made a post, all of a sudden my phone keeps track of it. Like all the static data is all tracked. And
Right.
so, as of today, I think we're 1 week in. Tomorrow morning, we're 1 week in, and we've had like just in 1 week 2,700 something views on the website. Lots of double clicks, no abandoned carts,
Right.
lots of sales. I mean, I'm happy with the sales. So
That's great.
you know, it's done what it's supposed to do. We haven't had a lot of issues. We are having a little bit of inventory issues right now. So if y'all are on there, work through it with us. It'll just give us a call if you think it's sold out, because it's not. We just got to get the inventory adjusted.
Okay.
It's up 100%. I honestly feel it will be the best barbecue website out there, and we're going to continue to
Grow it.
Yeah, just to grow it, make
Grow
it
it,
better, and stay on top of the curve.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got some comments. Are you able to see the comments I'm throwing up or not?
No, not really.
Okay, so Vivian Freeman says, this is so extremely convenient. Alan Freeman says, awesome, no more skipping around. I love this. Randy Salas Salinas said, awesome. That's awesome. Allow cooks to take care of everything on one site. Heath McWilliams said, love it. Thanks, Dustin. And Alan says, I love it. Chickapacao is cooking all organizations. This makes it so easy. So, man, that is really cool, because that's the one thing I hate doing. And I want you to get BCA in there, because we are going to be cooking a lot of BCAs. And that way you're covering all of them. You've got everybody covered.
Yeah, I'm going to have A's on there too. You know what I'm saying? Like I've told people, and I will remain to this. You can mark it on this show. I'm not choosing an organization. I'm not choosing a side. I'm Barbecue America, right?
That's it. Let's just go cook. You know, if there's a competition I can go to, I'm going to go to it. That's it. Plain and simple. So I want to cook.
Yep.
All right. So I do have a question for Mr. Terry Roan. Are y'all strictly drum cookers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Y'all in them drums. Man, I tell you what. They're hot. They're hot.
Yeah, a long time I've cooked on everything I think you can put a fire on, you know?
Yeah.
I don't care. You give it to me. I'll cook on it. I'll find a way. I've done it
Yeah.
all. But, you know, we cook for Louisiana Grills too. They're one of our sponsors. And, you know, we still use the Louisianas from time to time doing stuff. But I had been in a slump for a little while, and because I come from old school barbecue. I come before injections, before sauces, before glazes, before all the marinades, you know, brining.
Yep.
Old school Texas barbecue. And so I've told this story before, but Robert Smith is the guy that broke my back on that deal. We did a doubleheader in Winnie, Texas, and I cooked on a Saturday and a Sunday right beside him, trailer to trailer. On Saturday, he got up and he walked, and by the third time when he walked up to get his reserve grand that day, he said, "You better start glazing," because he had been telling me for a long time. And I couldn't do it. So that Saturday night, I went over to his trader and I said, "Hey, I need help." And he said, "Well, let's do this, this, and this." And I gave up all 3 tickets the next day. But I still was stumbling trying to learn what I call new barbecue. Because to me, it's new barbecue. Corbin he come into new barbecue. He didn't have to, it's like can't train an old dog new tricks, right?
Right.
So I changed my mental process on how to cook, and then I just started critiquing things because I'm in the business.
Right.
The barbecue store was a hobby. It wasn't supposed to be a business. I mean, it was just a little part-time gig to support the addiction to barbecue. But now, it's 5,500 square foot. We started with 500. We're 5,500 square foot. Our daughter works full-time plus there. We've got people on the weekends working. I mean, it's doing really well, and we're truly blessed with that. But
that's awesome.
I didn't start getting the calls I was getting until I started cooking on the drums. And I'm just being brutally honest. I've really cruised up the ladder super fast in chicken because my chicken's been on fire. And it's a drum, but it's just a drum that I sell there at the store. It's a pit barrel smoker.
Yeah. And
that sucker will go to about 600 degrees.
Yeah.
And I learned how to cook that chicken. I give a lot of credit to Bill Purvis. That dude taught me some tricks, and I use those tricks, and I've gotten to the top of the food chain on chicken with that, Yeah. And so I'm happy with the drums. And Corbin's been on drums day one.
Yeah. Hey, Corbin.
Yes, sir.
Robert Rocha said Dustin's name was Cooksy back on the wagon trail. Did you know that?
No. I didn't even know that. Damn.
Cooksy. Dustin's name was Cooksy back on the wagon trails. Now you need to give him a hard time. Cooksy. Bill Purvis says he wants you to teach me what I told you.
I'll never catch them. He's a barbecue stud.
Oh, that guy. And Bill, I'm going to have to get you on the show here. Man, I was so wanting to get you on after San Antonio, but I knew you had a lot of already that was on. But then when you won the RGC in Marksville, I was like, I got to get Bill on. But I already had a couple people, and I hate it. I've tried to schedule some of these things out, and I was like, God dog it, I'd love to get Bill on here. This guy, he's a stud. I mean, he just freaking shows up. The only guy I know that can win a grand champion on a Tuesday and then freaking come back the next time and win another one on a Saturday. So he's just absolutely freaking awesome. Oh, yeah, and he is definitely the king of filters, that's for sure. I mean, I was like, how in the world do you get, oh, man, it's just a little filter here and a little filter there. And I was like, golly. Oh, goodness gracious. So
good dude. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Bill's got a heart of gold, man.
And he's just one of those guys to me that is an amazing dude overall.
Yeah.
I could be here for 2 hours just naming a list of good guys, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I think barbecue does. It brings out the good in us families, right?
Right, right.
You can be family, you can be dysfunctional, but barbecue family's good, dysfunctional.
It's there. It's there. It's solid stuff, man. Yeah, I love my barbecue family. There's no doubt. So, if y'all have got any other, let's see, Bill. Yeah, Bill has a great rub. Yeah, you think? I mean, I don't know. I remember when Bill was first starting, he was asking me some questions about it and this and that, and he was getting things going. And man, now all of a sudden it's just chicken fried barbecue rib grind. I mean, good Lord, I don't know how many cases a freaking month he must be selling, but everywhere, and it's got its own good stuff. I threw some ribs on. I was cooking for a online class, and oh my God, I had asked you about it, and you sent me a bottle. I said, well, just let me buy a bottle. I want to try this stuff, and I used it in that class. Man, I had people calling it, man, that freaking rib was so good, and the color on that rib, I sent a picture of it to Bill, and that was with no filters. That thing was just flat freaking money. So that is some great rub. If you haven't got it, it's Bill Purvis chicken fried barbecue Texas rib grind. It's in a black bottle with white writing, and it will get you paid. It is great on anything. I know it's good on chicken. I know it's good on ribs. It's probably good on a freaking sneaker if you dadgum freaking melted in on it. So it's just freaking good stuff, man.
On the front counter at the barbecue store.
Yeah. So let's see. Alan Freeman, barbecue family is great. I know firsthand. Yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. So Terry, can't beat the barbecue community and family. Yeah, Terry, I agree with you 100%. So, all right. I want to talk about, let's see. Yeah, see, Alan Freeman. Let's see. Great stuff. Love it on chicken. Yeah, you're welcome, Bill. You're an awesome guy. One of the best sellers. Yep. I want to talk about, so we've covered the cook-offs. That's what I wanted to cover. Okay, so we've got the cook-off page, but I know that you and Joey Smith, Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, which if you don't know what that is, Joey set up this organization about a year and about a year and a half ago, and it is he put this organization together to where he has men and women that are suffering from PTSD in the military or first responders. And if you fit that bill and you submit an application in, he will fly you into a barbecue competition. He will sit you down in the trailer. He will go over the whole process. He will let you hands-on trim the ribs, trim the brisket, trim the chicken, do everything, show you how to inject, show you how to do the rub, show you every single thing there is. And when you get done, you're right there with him to the very end. When you fly back home, he'll send you a smoker and everything that you need to go out and cook competition barbecue. It's an amazing thing. I think one of the first persons that ever went through his program was Josh Hale. And Josh is just absolutely killing it. I know he was in the top 10, I think, on brisket in the state or the IBCA. I didn't glance at the other ones, but this guy has been doing incredibly well in the last 6 months. He's got a couple grand champions. He went through Joey's school there or not school, but he went through Joey's program, the Texas Heroes Foundation. And he's out on his own. And I had a chance to talk to him at the 1 year anniversary in El Campo this past August. That was the 1 year mark of when Joey launched it. And he said, man, this has just been so game changing to me. He said, I've got I think he built his own freaking trailer and pit and the whole 9 yards. He rolled out there and he did it. And here's a guy that was suffering from PTSD pretty dadgum bad. Now he's got a purpose in life, right? And like Alan was saying, just a minute ago, barbecue is family, and he's awesome. He loves this, and it is so awesome. And I know Joey has been wanting to really push more barbecue competitions, and I know that you have worked with him, and you scheduled about 5, 6. I don't know. You're going to be able to tell me about a bunch of competitions that you're working with Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. So I'm going to give you the mic and tell me a little bit about it and what you've got going on here.
Well, so first of all, I'll tell a big thank you to you because you at the IBCA banquet several years ago, you gave me, we met there, and you gave me a opportunity to check into your school, your classes, and just so happened I had clicked on Joey Smith was the one I had the chance. And so, I owe the introduction to you. Didn't know Joey. I knew his name in competition, but I didn't really know him. And then I got to meet him at the IBCA showdowns a year later. So I studied his class, getting to know him. If you don't know Joey Smith,
you
don't know anybody. Because
his heart's big as Texas.
That dude right there, I literally, we don't talk every day. We talk a lot right now, but that dude right there is in my back pocket all the time. And he hands down, we've had this conversation. He hands down is one of the best guys I've ever met in barbecue. And the relationship that I have with him, to me, is very strong. Like we appreciate each other. I've told him time and time, if I'm stepping on your toes, let me know. And he told me one time, you dance. He said, you got way more power and you got way more stride. He said, I'm just too busy. And we've made a hell of a team. I will give it that.
Right.
But Josh Hale, let's talk about Josh. Josh Hale is one of our good friends. And we met Josh through Texas Chrome when he cooked at our series. Josh and his family are super important to us. And he's been off the trail for 2 or 3 months redoing his trailer. And I just talked to him last week, and he's like, I'm ready to go cook. He's ready to get back out there. And so I expect him, when he hits the trail pretty soon, he's going to be back cruising that ladder to the top. So, so Texas Chrome, to me, in my family, is important. And here's the reason why. And I tell people this. I didn't choose to serve in the military. but this is how our family will choose to honor.
Right. 100%.
And so my son is in law enforcement. We have a law enforcement friends. So this is military law enforcement. My youngest son is a volunteer firefighter. He's there every single night. He gets off work at 5:00. He stays at the fire station as a volunteer until 9:30, 10.
Wow.
You know, we got people in EMS. We got a lot of friends that suffer from this. And I'm going to use the same term Joey used, PTF. We're going to take the D off. It's PTF. Right. So a lot of friends suffer for it. But the way we got this thing rolling is that we are taking people's vision of what they can do and their purpose, and we're giving them a whole new hobby that they're happy with. And so
right.
Texas Chrome we support it 100%. We'll do whatever it takes to keep any financial obligations going to them. But our cook-off, because we have our own facility, we hosted 58 teams last year. I called Joey and make a donation. I was hoping to raise $2,000. I was hoping to get 50 teams, 20% payout to Joey, getting $2,000, pay the cooks their money, and we ended up donating $6,000. That's how good the turnout was. So there we started talking about a series, and it kind of just flurried from a series. And so Thanksgiving, I reached out to Joey and said, "Man, I really want to run this series this year." I said, "I'd like to do this and this." And he's like, "Well, let's set it up." And we got to talking. So all day, we were back and forth a lot. So we set up a series of 6 cooks. It's ran through CBA. So basically, you can cook all 6, or you can cook a minimum of 5. If you have to cook all 6, you can drop your lowest score, which is really cool. Okay. So you can have a bad cook, just drop. But the series is a doubleheader at the barbecue store. It's March 19th and 20th. Then we have Tomball VFW, which is a doubleheader. That's on Memorial Day in May. Then we have Seguin, which is in June, and then we have El Campo, which will be the final in August. And so right now, I checked today, we're at 48 teams. We're taking 55. So we only have basically 7 spots.
7 more spots. Wow.
People had to back out. I know one guy had something he had to do with his grandkids, so he's only be able to cook 1. So we're able to slide a couple of people 1 and 2 days. So anyway, we're at like 7 spots. What people don't know, and I'll announce it here, is that as of Friday, I received a letter from the state saying that I have been promised that both of these will be state qualifiers.
Oh, wow. Great.
Both are having a proclamation. So that is huge for someone chasing the Jack or wants that state qualifier. I should have the paperwork in my hand in the next 5 to 7 days, which I'm excited.
That's great.
But that's for being an event like what we're doing 2 days and to get it both days to be qualified as state qualifiers. I'm stoked.
Man, that's awesome.
So it's 6. Wanted to get it in for.
It's 6 cook-offs. You're breaking up just a little bit. We're still hearing it. It's a little breakup. So it's 6 cook-offs. You get to claim points on 5 of this. If you cook only 5, then you got your 5. If you cook 6, you have 1 that you can drop, but you're going to take the 5 cook-offs. Whoever has the highest points, what do you get if you win that?
So there's awards at every single cook. You get cash prizes. All of them are classified as single cooks, even though they're double headers.
Right.
The series is tracked through CBA, so they're tracking all the points along with your regular CBA points.
Right.
But at the end, there's going to be awesome awards and more money. The whole cook-off series is paying $72,000.
Man, that is freaking awesome. Wow.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money. In 6 cook-offs, $72,000.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Man, Dustin, thank you, man, for putting that together. I know Joey's really appreciative of it. I've talked to him a few times about it, and Joey has just got a heart that's big as outdoors, that's for sure. He loves what he's doing. He loves all the help and support that he's getting. I'm sorry, my nose is running. And it's just a lot of fun cooking with him. But this is great. This is great to hear. And I really do appreciate what you've done for barbecue. You've been at it for 32 years. You've made a career out of it. We love you. We appreciate everything that you do for so many pro teams that you have and so many backyard cookers across the dadgum entire country. So for that, man, I really do appreciate and I applaud you. And Corbin, man, I tell you what, you've had quite a you've had quite a run in your first year, and I hope you have many more, and I hope there can be another father-son event that I'm at, so it would really be cool. We got another one here. Brian Camp says, Corbin, met you at a small cook-off in Cedar Park. Congrats on your 7th place rank in IBCA. Hope you finish out strong. I'll definitely get on y'all's website. It's awesome. Y'all have listed all the cook-offs. Yeah, I'm with you there, Brian. It is really, really cool. And I really appreciate what you've done, Dustin. I appreciate you being a partner for BBQ Champs. We couldn't do what we do without of our partners, and I really thank you, man, for helping me out with that. And it just takes a lot to keep this big machine running called BBQ Champs Academy. So it is nothing cheap about it, but we enjoy it. Our whole mission was to grow the sport of barbecue in state competitions. There is 100% no doubt it's escalated into way more than what we ever thought it was going to be. It is huge. There's probably well over 800 state cookers that have taken classes from us, and a lot of them several classes, and the barbecue competition stuff as well. I've lost count with how many people have bought in barbecue. We've had so many people reach out and just tell us, they thank us, and we're growing the sport. That's what we wanted, and we needed people like you, and Brian Crawford, at Lone Star, to make sure that y'all have the rubs, y'all can supply all these people that we have, and we really do appreciate you and everything that you do. So it's really awesome.
Couldn't do it without the barbecue community.
Yeah, absolutely. You could not. You could not. If y'all did not catch my little deal that I did on Sunday and last Tuesday's show, I really want to make a real quick announcement about this. We had Lee Hickle come in our studio the second week in January. He was in town for barbecue competition here in Blanchard, which is basically right outside of Shreveport. And Lee came in and gave a new update. He has got a 2022 updated recipes on all 4 of his meats: brisket, ribs, pork butt, and chicken. If you have bought Lee Hickle's class, it's no charge for you. We added them right to your classes. It's going to be at the bottom of each one of the meats, and it'll say 2022 update rib recipe, brisket, ribs, and he did a KCBS chicken thigh in that class because he did not do that in his class when we filmed him in 2019. So you got all the new updated recipes from Lee. It was funny. He was in here doing his ribs, and he was putting the rubs on the ribs. He completely changed everything in his rib. He was putting the rubs on his rib, and he was just showing how they go on. And he said, this rib's going to win first place tomorrow in Blanchard. I just kind of shook my head at him a little bit, and I was like, yeah, okay. Sure enough, that rib won first place the next day in Blanchard. So, and then 2 weeks later, he goes down to Marksville, has a first place brisket down there. And he told Bill Purvis, he told all of them, he was walking his brisket, and he said, I just hate to tell you guys, but this brisket right here is going to get first place. And he kept telling, hey, y'all don't need to worry. This brisket right here is going to get first place. Lee is not a cocky person, but he knew that. He said that brisket was so good, I didn't see how it wasn't going to get first place. Sure enough, it got first place. So if you've got Lee's classes and you've already bought them, you can go into his class. You can take a look. The recipes or his new recipe videos are there for you. And if you have not bought his classes, you can go to BBQ Champs Academy. Go to bbqchamps.com. Scroll down to where our barbecue pitmasters are. There's Lee Hickle. You can click it. And if you use coupon code LEE10, Lee 10, you'll get a 10% off of the class that you buy Lee's. That offer ends on the 28th of February, so you got about 6 more days to get it. So I really wanted to get that out there just to let people know that we have that updated recipe for everybody. Well, Dustin, you got any final words, man?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Like I said, I just appreciate the support from everybody in the barbecue world.
Yeah,
that we couldn't do it without them, and with their partnership with us allows us to partner with others.
That's it.
I pay it forward to keep on giving, and
that's it.
We live by that. And I just say I appreciate everybody. I can't even fathom where we were 3 years ago, 500 square foot, and where we are today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Blessed. We're truly blessed with our customers. We're truly blessed with the barbecue community and the friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. Corbin, final words, brother.
I don't have any.
You don't have any. Smoke on, right?
Oh, no, ask him where he's going Thursday. There you go. He didn't tell you that.
Yeah, where are you going Thursday, Corbin?
The cook at the rodeo.
The cook at the rodeo. Go down there, enjoy that. You're gonna have a lot of fun. So, well, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and be with us tonight, taking a little bit of time out of your evening. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it. It looks like we got all the questions answered. And I hope everybody's enjoyed our show tonight. These are some great dudes right here. If you're needing any kind of rubs or supplies, be sure to check out the barbecue store. He has got, like I said, not only a great website with all the rubs and everything else, but check out those upcoming cook-offs all listed now. You don't have to run around to a whole bunch of different websites to get them. One shop stop gets everything, and we really appreciate that. Everybody said it's a great show tonight. I really do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here and taking out a little bit of your time to be with us here for this Tuesday night. And hope to see everybody, Lord willing, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Y'all go out there, have a lot of fun, and smoke on.